semicircles is half of a circle. So if I want to know the arc length of a semicircle, we're really just talking about this distance from here to here, okay? We're not talking about the dotted line. I know it's hard to tell that that's dotted, but that doesn't count, all right? So the perimeter of the circle, what do we call that? Yeah, we call that the circumference. So now I just want to find half of the circumference. So do you guys remember what the formula for circumference is? Good, 2 pi r. So if I just want to find a semicircle, I divide it by 2. There are two formulas for this, right? Because what's the other formula for the entire circumference?
2 pi d.
Pi d. And we can take pi d and divide by 2. All right? So it's probably easier if they give you the radius to use 2 pi r divided by 2. But if they give you the diameter, to use pi d divided by 2. Okay? So that's what we have for arc length of a semicircle. We should probably put that there, but that goes there. Okay? Okay, and the other thing we're going to do is the area of a closed semicircle. So we just did the arc length, right? The circumference. We did half of the total circumference. So now we got to remember the formula for area of a whole entire circle. Who remembers the formula for the entire circle for area? Yep, Zach?
Pi r squared.
Yeah. So pi r squared, only now we're doing a semicircle, so we just divide by 2. Okay, find the perimeter and the area of the figure. So we have to do both the perimeter and the area of the figure. So let's start with perimeter. And I do want you guys to sketch this in your notes. Doesn't have to be perfect. So for perimeter, we're going to walk around the entire outside and add it all up. So we can start wherever we want. I'm going to start here. So I'm walking across this, and that's a length of 10. And then we're walking here, and that's a length of 11.18. And we're walking here, and that's a length of 15, okay? Plus, now we have a semicircle, okay? Are we going to count the dotted line here? No. Okay, that is not part of the perimeter, okay? Don't count that line. That's just showing you to help you visualize a half circle, all right? But we do want this right here. So the formula for a half of a circle when we're finding the circumference is 2 pi r over 2. And I use the formula with r because they gave us radius, okay? So for our second step, let's add these numbers up. Anybody got that? Anyone add those up yet? Okay, 36.18. And now let's add this circle piece. Right here, we can actually cross those 2's off, right? 2 divided by 2 cancels, gives us 1. And we get pi times r. What should I plug in for r? Yep. Good. Okay, and what should I plug in for pi? Yep. Okay, somewhere off to the side, we probably need to multiply 3.14 times 5. Anybody got that for me?
15.7.
15.7? I'm going to go ahead and line it up here. 15.7 should shouldn't put my plus sign there though. Okay, so I've got 8, 8, 11, 5. Okay, 51.88. We are doing perimeter, right? So for our units, what should we put?
Meters.
Yeah, meters. Good. Okay, now we have to do that same thing, only area. All right, so we've got a trapezoid and we've got a half of a circle. Do you guys remember the formula for trapezoid if you want to use that formula? Or because you could split it into a rectangle and a triangle, right? But do you want to do trapezoid? Do you remember trapezoid? I say we try trapezoid. All right, Maddie, what's the formula for area of a trapezoid?
I think it's base for like height, and then you do base 1 plus base 2.
Yep.
Divided by 2.
Nice. Okay, so there's our trapezoid formula. We always need formula first. And that would cover this entire trapezoid piece. And now we've got a half of a circle. So what's the formula for the area of a semicircle? Thomas?
Height squared divided by 2.
Good. Okay. Okay, so let's see if we can plug some stuff in. So the height of the trapezoid, they didn't actually give it to us fully, but we can figure it out pretty easily. Anybody know what the height of the trapezoid is? That would be this distance, which is the same as this distance. Julia?
5.
Close. The radius is 5. Yep. So we actually add those together, so that total height is 10. Okay, so I have 10. And now base 1 plus base 2. Those are the two bases of the trapezoid. Who knows what I could plug in for base 1 and base 2? Hannah?
10 and 15.
Yeah, this is base 1, base 2. They're interchangeable. You can put them either way. So 15 plus 10 over 2. Plus. Okay, now we got the semicircle. What should I plug in for R? 5. Okay. You have to do parentheses first, right? So what's 15 plus 10? 25. And we can go ahead and do this exponent as well. What's 5 squared? Okay, and I'm going to put it in front of pi because that's where we usually put our numbers. Okay, instead of multiplying and then dividing, it's faster if we can cross cancel here. 5 and 10, or 10 and 2, which is what? Okay. And then what's 5 times 25? Good. All right, so now I have 25 pi divided by 2. I would probably do 25 divided by 2 first, and then multiply by 3.14. All right, what's 25 divided by 2? Yeah, 12.5. So that's going to be fun. 12.5 times pi. What's pi? Okay, 3.14. You do not have to line up your decimals when you multiply, right? We just have to multiply those numbers and then move the decimal how many places over? 3. All right, you guys try it on your paper. Did that? All right. Awesome. So 39.25. You don't need the 0 at the end. Now we got to add that to 125. So I'm going to write it underneath. You do need to line up your decimals here. So 0.25, 14, 6, 1. Woo! That took a while. All right. So 164.25 and we were in meters, and this time we're doing area, so we're going to do meters squared. Okay? Any questions? Alright, we got one more, and we'll start this one. I might not both tie it all out, since I think you guys know how to do that. But let's set up perimeter first. Okay, again, this dotted line does not count as perimeter, so nope. And this one either, nope. Okay, not perimeter, just the outside of the figure. Yeah.
To find the small one, could we just do 3.14 times 2, because the diameter is pi, and it's 4.
Just do like pi r, basically,
Yeah.
the radius times pi.
Yeah.
I want you to always write the formula first, and then yes, you can do that, okay? Alright, so if we're walking around the figure, let's start with this, because they gave it to us. So my perimeter is going to be equal to 8 plus, okay, who could tell me how long this piece is over here? Holly? 4. Yeah, very good. Because this was 2 and this was 2. So you're actually using that radius over here to get that length of 4. Okay, now this is kind of a tough piece right here. How can I find this distance here? Isaac?
The radius of the bigger circle is 3, so we divide by 6 and minus 6.
Very good. So this is 6. So I have 8 here, minus 6. So this has to be 2. Okay, now I do want a formula for your 2 half circles. All right, 2 formulas. And then we'll plug them in. So the formula for half of the circumference is what? Yep, 2 pi r divided by 2, 2 pi r divided by 2, and there's 2 of these, 2 pi r divided by 2. Okay, on the next step, we'll plug in and cancel those 2's. Alright? So, again, that's going to represent this distance here and this distance here, but not the dotted lines. Alright, so I'm going to add these up. What's 8 plus 4 plus 2? Good. And I'm going to cancel the 2's. And let's go ahead and plug in pi as 3.14. And my radius, let's do the bigger circle first. What's that one going to be? 3. And let's cancel these 2's and replace pi with 3.14. And then the radius of my smaller circle is going to be what?
2.
Okay, 2. This one doesn't look too hard. Let's go ahead and do it. So 3 times 3.14. Anybody know what that is? 9.42? Okay. 9.42. And this one's easy. 2 times 3.14. Good. Okay, and then let's line them all up and add them together. Again, line up your decimals when you do this. I accidentally got 2 decimals there. Alright, what did you get?
39.7.
Did you guys get that too?
29.
29? Alright, 29.7. And then you guys, we got to do our units. So this was in centimeters. We are doing area. So centimeters squared. Oh, just seeing if you guys were paying attention. Good job. Okay, so we got perimeter. Alright, and for area, I just want to set up a formula at least before I let you guys do whiteboards. Alright, so for area of this lovely figure, we have 2 shapes, right? Aaron, actually we have 3 shapes. What are my 3 shapes, Aaron? Yep, semicircle, semicircle, rectangle. Alright, so we need 2 formulas for semicircle. For area. What's the area of a whole circle? Okay, and we're going to divide by 2. And then we have a whole nother one of these. Okay, divided by 2. And then we have a rectangle. What's the formula for the rectangle? Okay. So you guys pretty much got it, right? We plug in the r and base height, figure out all those lovely decimals. I think we got this, okay?